Whistle.
Whistle. I think things need to start hearting up, Paul.
That was
Clear as day.
Hello?
Was that your son?
That was not my son, Paul. That was definitely...
That was
Did
out
you hear
there.
that?
Yeah, that was.
Wasn't your stomach, was it?
No, it went.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, it's like a chant.
Can you hear drums?
We were here shooting B-roll shots, intro shots in the daytime. And we heard the loudest bang we have ever heard, mate, didn't we? And it was downstairs. I'll have to listen to that back. It sounded like something was dropped. I mean, the building is falling bits. You know, it could just be natural noises from the building, but I haven't heard that noise since I've been here.
I think the only screws that are in here are the ones holding these bunk beds together. That's the only screws I can think of is in here.
Thank you.
No, I'm
Let's take the left one.
I'm not getting in the left.
Why? Why not?
I aren't, just in case it's still.
Yeah, I'm going to ground floor, mate. Oh my god, mate, you just...
What's up with you?
Shit. You idiot. I'll tell you what, it's red hot in here, innit? It's more hot in here than it is at home.
What?
It's free.
I'm going to bring Marlene and the dog, aren't I? Cheaper, isn't it? Yeah.
You know where I come, can I?
Yeah.
It's like a security guard down here.
We could be doing these investigations for the rest of his lives and never ever see an apparition. Ever.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Or the stuff we get, we debunk.
Yeah.
It's simple, mate. If there's no paranormal, it's going to come, is it?
No.
And if there is, it's going to come, is it? You know what
And it could be residual,
Yeah.
like we always say.
I mean?
It is quite possible, mate, that, you know, visitation, certain times of the year, certain times of the day, dates, times, it is possible, mate. Who knows? This is why we do this, because nobody knows, do they?
Nobody knows. And I don't think I keep saying it that we aren't, not meant to find out the real truth.
No.
I don't think so, do you?
As you can imagine, we're nervous wrecks now. The loudest bang we have ever had in a location, mate, by far. But we don't know where it came from.
There's nobody outside, mate.
There's a chance we might be able to debunk it in a moment by looking around, whatever, but by the looks of things, guys,
It was like
That
somebody
was
was letting us know because we asked for a noise,
that
didn't we?
was paranormal.
I mean, to be fair, I hope it is haunted and we get some amazing activity. Because that's why we do this, to be fair, ain't it?
Exactly, mate, yeah. Or do I have to believe more?
It's funny that is because a lot of people say that, like, oh, it's because we don't believe enough. But I don't think, a short recap, me and Griff believe in the paranormal massively. And Paul's had an incredible experience and we all believe in the paranormal. But we've also, after doing this for so many years, we also realise how extremely rare it is to capture something like, something remotely interesting.
And that's just the way it goes, guys. We cannot help that at all. All we can do is bring you a video, try his best, and hope that you enjoy it. Hello all.
Hello, how are you?
Let's do a quick sound test. Can you all hear us?
1, 2, 1, 2,
You don't
1,
need
2.
to- It's like Elvis. Can we get a 1 in the chat, guys, if you can hear us?
Where am I supposed to be looking?
There's the camera there. just look at this. Yeah, you hear us. Great stuff. Thank you. So we have got William. He's waiting in the quiet room there. We're waiting. Pull him in. Sorry if I keep you waiting, William. But yeah. So if you've not heard, guys, William Seagrave is an author, and also he lives in a haunted home, and his book is all about his experiences and his friends' experiences within his house. I believe he's lived in this property since he was 19 years of age. That's when he bought the property. And there's been so many things going on. I'm sure we don't want to give too much away. And I'm sure William doesn't want to give too much away because of the fact that you guys can actually purchase the book from Amazon. A bit more about where you can purchase it from later. Also, his audiobook is due to be out just before Christmas, I believe, and that's what I'm waiting for because I love the podcast. See, so I'd rather, instead of sitting there reading a book, I'd like to listen. Yeah, exactly. Well, this is it. I think it's easier, isn't it? It's easier to listen to, and I can't wait for that. But yeah, we're going to bring William in now. We have got a few questions for him, but we'll get to that point where you guys can ask your own questions. So do let us know in the chat later on if you've got any questions for William, and we'll put them on, and you can ask whatever you like. But yeah, let's bring William in. William, how's it going, mate?
How are you?
I'm all good. How are you guys?
Good, great stuff. Just want to say thanks so much for joining us, mate.
Yeah.
No, you're quite all right. It's the first one of these I've done live. As you've probably seen, I've done a few interviews and stuff. It's the first one I've done live on video. So a little bit nervous, and I've got a bit of man flu, so apologies if the voice breaks halfway through.
It's that time of year. year. So yeah, I have listened to the interviews.
Yes.
And very fascinating stuff.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, this is the holy grail of hauntings, you know.
Yeah, some weird stuff goes on.
What's so fascinating to me is that we hear about all these old hauntings like the Battersea poltergeist hauntings, the Enfield poltergeist hauntings, but they are no longer occurring because either the building's been knocked down or the hauntings have just stopped. Whereas this, I believe, William, is still ongoing for you.
It is, yeah. It's not all the time, guys. It's literally every couple of months, sort of 2-3 months, we'll have nothing. And then we'll have about a week or two of madness where we have all sorts of poltergeist activity, voices, footsteps, doors opening on their own, spring-loaded door handles opening on their own. And bear in mind, you're talking to who was a fully fledged skeptic up until I purchased this house pretty much 19 years ago. And I've seen too many things and heard too many things to... I know there's something going on. I don't know what it is.
Right.
But yeah, there's definitely something going on here.
Brilliant.
And I'm in the house now, so if anything's going on behind me while I'm talking to you.
Yeah. hopefully we catch it live. Yeah, live and exclusive. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. So yeah, could you take us back to the very beginning then, William?
Of course I can. Yeah. So it was November 2004. I was working I'd just passed an apprenticeship as a car mechanic and parts person at the time, parts technician. And I went into the sales department, and basically you could earn quite a few quid in car sales back then. I was working for a big car manufacturer, doing quite well. And my fiance at the time, 19 years old, basically was saying, you need to buy a house. You need to spend your money on a house. So we started looking for a property near my mum and dad's, sort of 5-10 minutes away from there. And we came across a house. Unfortunately, the person pulled out of the deal a couple of days before everything was exchanged. And then this one came up on the market. We went to have a look. Lovely house, needed a bit of work doing to it, but looked a nice place. It'd been renovated quite nice on the inside, but looked very weather worn and needed new windows and stuff on the outside. Needed a bit of TLC basically. Yeah. So I got basically a good friend of mine about a week after I'd put the offer in and it'd been accepted on the house. A good friend and work colleague came to pick me up to take me on a work do. and we were going to just a Hollywood Bowl, 10-pin bowling, and a night on the town. And he picked me up from your mum and dad's, and I was sat in the car with him, and he said, did your offer get accepted on the house? I said, yeah. So I bought my first house. We're moving in soon. We'll get the keys hopefully in the next month or so. And he said, whereabouts is it? I said, it's just around the corner. So he drove up the road from my mum and dad's, and I directed him down this. It's quite a steep road it's on. As we drove down, it was a cold December night, as we were going on the Christmas do. He pulled up on the left-hand side of the road on this steep hill, and I said, it's that one there. And he sort of looked up. He was sat in the driver's side, obviously driving. I'm in the passenger side on the left-hand side, looking up at the house. And it's quite a steep sort of hill, steep pitted path going up to the house. And I looked up and said, it's that one there, buddy. It's number 333. And he said, he sort of leant over, bent his finger past me. He's a mechanic, so a big oil-stained finger going past me as he looked up at the house. And he said, what, that one there with the lady in the window? Who's the old lady in the window? And I was looking at the house. Now, I knew the house had been vacant for 6 months. It had been basically bought, renovated, and to sell on. So I'm sat there looking at the window. I can see everything about the house. I'm looking up. There's a light in the house from outside. There's no curtains. I knew there's no furniture in the house. There's nobody living in it. And I looked up myself again and said, no, it's that one. It's number 333. And he was pointing at it. I'm looking at it. And he said, yeah, with the old lady in the window, in the bay window at the front, at the top. And we sat there for a couple of minutes, like going over and over this. And I'm like, I can't see anybody. Anyway, at the time, like I said, I was a massive skeptic, not into all this sort of stuff, didn't really believe in anything like that. But as we drove down the road, I thought it was winding me up. And I just said, come on then, what did this old lady look like? And he said, I'm serious, mate. She was probably in her 80s. She had grey, sort of permed, short hair. She was leaning with her arms on the bay window, staring down at us. She had a dark cardigan on, white blouse, and she had quite a piercing stare. She was looking right down at us as if she didn't want us outside the house. Didn't want somebody parked outside the house. And I just kind of looked at him, thought about it, and just didn't think much else. Anyway, a couple of weeks go by. I get the keys to the house, and first day I just wanted to move in with the lads, and well, not move in the lads. So I'd move in with the fiance, but she didn't want to move in on the first day because there's no furniture or anything in the house or carpets or anything. She said she didn't want to move in. So I invited all the lads around for a beer, got the keys, got in the house. And when they all got round with sort of sleeping bag under one arm and beer under the other, chucked all that in the fridge. And I sat down and said, I've not got a TV license, lads, so I don't want to put the TV on. I was a bit naive. Daft 19-year-old, didn't know what was going on, really. And I sat down and brought the old Monopoly game. And we sat in the middle of the floor in the front room on the old oak floorboards. And you could see where it's only a 1930s house. It's built on March 25th, 1936. And they had where the rug used to lie in the middle of the room. It was sort of varnished round the rug. So there's like a big rectangle in the middle of the room. And we all sat around on these sleeping bags and made makeshift sort of seats out of them and played Monopoly. And 6 lads that I've been mates with since like secondary school, so like being 11-year-old, we sat around. There's literally 2 doors in the front room. There's one to the bottom of the stairs, the hallway, which we've had loads of activity around since then. There's one that goes to the kitchen. And then there's a little alcove in the corner, and then a huge bay window that sort of dominates the front room, especially on that day because there's no curtains or anything there. But we sat and we played Monopoly for about 2 hours. We'd all had a drink. There were hotels starting to be built on. They were getting into the game. And one of the lads who was sat facing me, he sort of looked over his shoulder into an alcove in the corner of the room, and he freaked out. He jumped across the board, knocked everything all over the place. Drinks have gone everywhere. People weren't happy that the drinks had been spilled. And he scarpered into the corner of the room behind me, so across the board, past me, into the corner, and sat in like a fetal position, holding his legs, shaking, trembling, couldn't get his words out. He'd gone pale as anything. His eyes are bulging out of his head, and proper out of character. I mean, this kid's he's a stocky lad. He's not somebody you'd mess with, put it that way. I mean, I'm 6'4", but he's a stocky lad. And I looked at him and said, I mean, I've changed all the names in the book, so this isn't his real name, but I've changed it because I'm still in this house. But I've called him Greg in the book. And I basically just said, what's happened, mate? What the hell's going on? And he said he couldn't get his words out of the front room. So I picked him up. I took him in the kitchen, grabbed him a beer, and said, "Tell me what the hell's just happened? Like, that's weird. What are you acting like this for?" And he just sort of managed to get out the words, "Did you not see her?" And I said, "Well, who?" And bear in mind, this is the first day in the house. And I said, "Who did you see?" And he said, "Sat behind me on an invisible chair, there was an old lady. She was probably in her 80s, short grey hair, cardigan on, dark cardigan, white blouse, and a long sort of dressy skirt on, and she was staring right at me, like real piercing stare. And I was facing that direction. If she was there, I would have seen her, because I was looking at what he was looking at, but I didn't see her. So this is twice now that I've not seen this thing. But then these two people, this is the weird thing. So Greg doesn't know Craig, my work colleague that pulled up outside the house. He's a work colleague.
Yeah,
Greg
that's
went to
what
school.
makes it
They don't know each
more
other.
interesting.
Yeah.
That it's two different accounts of the same woman.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward. So the old lady now has been seen 5 times by 4 different people. The 4 different people didn't know each other. They all know me. One of which is my brother, who's, again, quite a big lad. He's 23 stone of muscle, tattooed up to... I'm a lover, not a fighter. He's like the opposite of me. Tattooed up to the 9. Big lad. You don't mess with him. And he came and stopped at my house for a while. And when he saw her, his was quite... I'll not spoil this one for anyone who just want the book and the audiobook, but he saw her, and he was the same. He couldn't get his words out. He sat in the corner of the room, shaking. He doesn't show emotion. And for him to describe her to me... and the other one is my wife, and she saw her on our first date. When we pulled back up outside the house, she looked up and saw her in the bay window in the same place that Craig had seen her originally. And obviously, I wasn't going to say anything because I wasn't going to scare her from coming back into my house. But she was like, "Is that your nan?" It's like, no, there's nobody in the house.
What I was more interested in, obviously, because I haven't read the book yet, so I don't know if the dates and times are actually in there of when these apparitions were seen. But
they're all there.
To me, it seems to base around December time, Christmas time. Am I right, or is it different times of the year?
It's different times of the year, and there's no rhyme or reason to it either. So I've basically, in the book, there's 25 short stories that are. There's loads more stories that I could have written about, but I wanted to make them noteworthy. I mean, I've just been watching your intro video there, and you say it's quite hard to capture something of interest.
It is.
It's the same with me. So there's loads of stuff that happens. When it does happen, it happens for quite a while, and then it stops, and it happens in another couple of months. But if I wrote a book that just says I heard footsteps upstairs and a door opening and closing, it wouldn't be amazing.
It's a bit like the Bible, but just full of footsteps.
So it's taken me pretty much 19 years in 2 weeks that I've lived here. And I've got 25 noteworthy stories that are worth writing about in there. And none of them are fictional. Everything's true stories, true events that have happened. And I used to rent the rooms out to friends and family. So it's a 3-bed semi. I used to rent the rooms out to friends and family. The majority of the stories are about other people, not me. There's only about 5 stories that actually include me in there. But having to interview them and find out their thoughts and feelings and all sorts of stuff has just been, it's been amazing, to be fair, talking to them about it. Because one of them's not been here in 15 years since something happened in the house when he was here. He left and said, "I ain't coming back. That's weird. I'm not staying here." And I've invited him back to come back in a couple of weeks because he's found out about the book. He's coming. He's coming around to have a beer and sort of talk about what happened back then.
Great
so that'll be
stuff.
interesting.
Brilliant. What was I going to say? So, I have got some questions actually. Let me just pull them up.
Have you prepared some for me?
Yeah, I've prepared some. Yeah,
Prepared them early.
I'm ready.
So, before you moved into the house, did you have any interest at all in the paranormal, or were you just not interested, or a skeptic, or?
I suppose back then, I think it's probably about, I don't know when Most Haunted came out, but I probably watched a couple of episodes of Most Haunted. My mum and dad used to watch it, and if they were
used to
watching
love
it,
Most Haunted.
I'd kind of sit down and I'd watch along, and it was times of Derek Acora and stuff like that. So I'd sort of sit down and watch it with them if it was on the TV. I'd never show. I suppose everyone's interested in afterlife or what happens when you die, that sort of thing. is something everyone's got to have a bit of interest in, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
But when I say I'm a skeptic, I think I was skeptical because I'm a logical thinker. Everything I do is sort of calculated and logical. I think about things. So when stuff happens in the house, as you'll probably read in the book or listen to it on the audiobook when that comes, is you actually get a thoughts from me afterwards, after the story, to say, I went and checked this, I went and looked at this, I tested this afterwards to make sure, like with door handles and stuff. And so I try and work out that it's not paranormal. But
that's
there are
great. That's a great thing, you know, that you've looked at things to try and debunk.
Yeah,
stuff
exactly.
Going on, you know,
yeah,
by logic,
exactly. Yeah, so I've gone around and tested all sorts of things after events have happened, and
you couldn't find
there are things that I've seen. I've had a coin thrown at me while I've been in the shower, an American 1-cent piece.
Yeah,
I'd explain that one to me.
it's unexplained.
You cannot explain it, and I can't explain how a spring-loaded door handle can tilt down, open a door with nobody there, no windows open or anything. I don't know, a window couldn't open a bloody door handle anyway, but I saw it with my own eyes with my wife sat with me.
Oh, I was going to say, did you actually see that happen then?
So both of us, so it happened. The door handle came down. We were sat literally having a glass of wine in the front room. It was about 10 o'clock at night. It's pitch black, but we were sat just having a chat about the day's events, what we'd both been doing. She just got back from work. And as we sat down on the sofa, about 5 minutes after, the door handle came down. The weird, it's a creaky door as well, which makes it even sort of creepier. The door creaks when it opens. So the door handle, it's just a metal normal sort of door handle, but it's spring loaded. It came down. The door, it was still down as the door opened, and it opened about yay far. Enough for me to be sat on the sofa across from. I was sat bang facing this door in the corner. And I sort of tilted my head around and just said, hello. And as I said, hello, the door handle snapped up real quick and the door slammed. And I mean slammed. And there's no windows or anything open. I went and checked. First thing I did, I jumped up, went to the door, looked up into an empty staircase. There's nobody there. It's pitch black. Went round upstairs to check there were no windows open. Now, we've had when I said it needed new windows in the house, I've had brand new, the whole house has been renovated. I've got new windows, new doors. There's no drafts. I went and checked that all the windows were shut. I came back downstairs scratching my head and I was thinking, what am I going to say to my wife here? And I just walked in because stuff like this freaks her out. She gets really freaked out by it. And I walked in the front room and just said, just tell me what you saw before I explain to you what I saw. I need you to tell me what you saw. And she explained it exactly the same. Door handle came down. Nobody behind it. Door opens, snaps back up. And I just sat next to her, scratching my head, thinking, I've just seen that. And that was the first thing I'd seen with my own eyes. Apart from the odd shadow under a door. I've seen a shadow go under a door a couple of times.
Do you know when you were renovating? Do you know when you were renovating your house?
Yes.
Did the activity get worse or
did it
go less?
It certainly kicked off a little bit when we were having people round renovating.
What you're doing to my house, kind of thing, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, we had. There's a story about this in the book, but there was we just had all new electrics fitted, and I had a plasterer around the day after to come and fill all the gaps where they chased the wires into the walls and stuff. And he was upstairs. Obviously, there's no lights in the house, so he needed a light. As it got to dusk, he needed a light, and I went and got this little sort of desk lamp where you press it once, it comes on, you press it twice, it's a bit brighter and a bit brighter again. Fourth time you press it, it goes off. And I gave him that. And he didn't say anything that night before he left. But the next morning, I had something weird, and I'll not spoil this for people in the book, but it was to do with a shadow under a door. And it was a freaky night. And I was in the house on my own because we had the only furniture I had left in the house, literally I was renovating the whole house, was a 3-seater leather sofa and a TV in the front room. And it was about that thick in dust everywhere because the walls had been chased out. So my wife and stepson had moved back into her mum's for a little bit while all this was going on. I saw the shadow under the door. I was watching a horror film. My wife don't like watching them, so I was on my own. So I thought I'll watch a horror film. And it was Conjuring 2, I think. It was one about East Drive, I think. Is it?
Oh, no way.
Anyway, I was watching that, and it was the best horror film I'd seen in ages. And I had to turn it off halfway through because not a lot of stuff scares me. But when I saw that shadow under the door while I'm in the middle of watching a horror film, I was like,
it got you going. Yeah.
I'll turn this off. So I paused that. I went and checked all around the house because my first thoughts of being a logical person is that somebody's in the house. It's not that it's paranormal, it's somebody broke in.
Exactly.
And I've never had any trouble. In
That's what a
19
logical
years,
thinker would.
touch wood, in 19 years, I've never had any trouble here. It's quite a nice neighbourhood.
Right.
But that's the first thought that comes into my head. But the next morning after that, the plasterer came in. He came in about 7 in the morning. I was still on sofa, asleep as he banged on the door. And he came in with the painter, decorator as well. And he walked in the kitchen. He says, "So haunted your house, innit?" And I went, "Wow, what's happened?" And he says, "That light you gave me last night." He said, "I don't think they wanted me doing work. Every time I tried to do anything, they kept turning the light off. And it's a touch sensor on it." He said, "Every time I put it down, turn it on, go and try and do something, they kept turning it off." He says, "That's why I left early last night." And when I say things happen like in one short space of time, so that was like a build-up to me seeing that shadow that night, I think. And as we were talking about that in the front room, and I know you'll love this from a paranormal side of things, is other people seeing stuff at the same time, so multiple witnesses seeing stuff. We're sat in the front room. It was me and the painter decorator. The plasterer was in the kitchen. And I was telling him about the shadow under the door, and I said, "You're not going to believe this," when he just said about that haunted thing. I saw this shadow under the door last night. I said, "I've seen it before, but it really creeps me out a bit. And you sometimes hear the footsteps as it walks away." And as I was telling him that, he went, "What, like that?" And he looked at the bottom of the door. We both saw the same shadow go past. Now, there's no rhyme or reason for this shadow. It can't be cast from anything on the other side of the door unless you are stood there. Unless there's somebody stood there, there's nothing that can cast this shadow. The house is quite high up on a steep path, and there's nothing, unless I've tested it with all sorts of stuff. There's no way. It's not like a car light going past or anything outside, or nothing like that. And this was in broad daylight. This was 7 o'clock in the morning, in broad daylight. And he saw it at the same time as me. We both saw it. Weird.
See, it's like that. We say a lot on this channel, don't we, Mark? And we can't express it enough that hauntings, if a place is haunted, it doesn't have to be dark.
Yeah,
You'll find sometimes the daytime it can be rife with paranormal activity. You know, it doesn't have to be night. Yeah. So Kaz says, "Have you got children?"
Yeah, so I've got a stepson who's just literally gone off to university. He's 18 years old. He's just gone off to Nottingham Uni. And I've just had a son. So my son's 6 months old now. So he's downstairs with his mom at the minute.
Mate.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So yeah, he's a good lad, and he's downstairs with his mom at the minute.
Brilliant.
No, nothing's happened to him yet, but he has been there when something has happened about 2 weeks ago.
It'll be interesting to see when he gets that age, you know, when they get the imaginary friends.
I know. I'm kind of freaked out about when we put the baby monitor in his room, because I've set a laptop up at the top of the stairs and caught all sorts of stuff. I've caught a coughing noise into the microphone of the laptop at the top of the stairs, like a smoker's cough. So when we put that baby monitor in, I don't know what I'm going to pick up on that.
Catch.
We've caught all sorts of EVPs as well. When I had a paranormal investigation team round to the house to write about stuff for the book, and that's in the book.
Right.
And we caught some EVP stuff accidentally on I've got a 4K night vision video camera thing that I bought for it all, and caught some proper clear voices on that.
Wow.
One of them says, "Be quiet," and it's as clear as day. But we were in the kitchen at the time. We were in the extension at the far end of the house. Yeah. And the camera was set up in the front room on its own. And it's when we were talking about, it sounds like the spirits have gone quiet. And the, you all know what they're called. I don't know what they are, but these sensors that do air changes, air pressure change.
Yeah, the air pressure change,
It set them up throughout the front room into the kitchen. And they went off one by one into the front room where the camera was. And he said, "Oh, I think the spirits are going in there. It seems to have gone quiet in here." And then you hear on the camera in the front room, "Be quiet." Wow. Like really whispered.
Is that a female voice as well, Will? Or?
It's a male. It's a male voice. Male voice, yeah. Yeah.
This might be a mad question, Will.
Go on.
How do you feel in that house now? Are you used to it, or are you?
There's certain things that do get me, and just make you freeze with fear. And I'm not saying loads of things have. And if you read the book, you'll see that I actually had a bit of feedback from people saying when I read the book, you don't hear much about your feelings, and it's because I explain in there that I'm a logical person. I try not to.
Try not to think.
And I do think it's my home. I love the house. I've been in 19 years. I wouldn't have stayed here so long if I didn't love the house.
Got you.
And not loads of stuff has happened individually to me. It's been to other people. But when it has happened, the other week when I said my child was in the room, this isn't in the book. I woke up 7 o'clock in the morning one morning to the noise of, and this has never happened before, the noise of a xylophone, a really distinctive noise of a xylophone. Now, I don't have a xylophone. The little one's not got a toy xylophone, anything like that. But I thought to myself, it must be on my phone. I picked up my phone. I listened to podcasts and stuff at night before I go to bed. And I thought, I must have left my phone on. Check that. It's not that. My battery was dead. Check my work phone. There's nothing on there. I walked around the other side of the bed to check my wife's phone. She was asleep in the bed, and the baby was asleep in his cot in the room as well. And I checked hers, and as I got there, I thought, I've just walked away from the noise. The noise is on the other side of the room. So I walked back round the bed, and we've got sort of a fitted wardrobe on that side, and it was coming from the wardrobe. Now, the only thing that's in that wardrobe is clothes. That's it. It's a shared clothes wardrobe with my wife. I say shared. She takes up about 3/4 of it.
As they do. As they do.
Yeah.
And your shoes
So
get bullied.
Mine end up on the floor. Mine do.
I've not got any shoes in it. I think she must have 100 pairs. But I went to open. I heard it coming from the wardrobe. I put my ear to the wardrobe, and it was distinctly coming from the wardrobe. I opened the door. This is 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, it shouldn't be a scary time of day or anything.
Yeah.
I opened the doors, and as I opened the doors, it stopped. The noise stopped straight away. And this is what happens with footsteps. If you go and try and investigate footsteps in this house,
It
they
just
stop.
goes.
Stop straight away.
So strange, isn't it?
So it must know that you. It must know that you're there. It must know. Must be.
Yeah, it's definitely intelligent spirit. You can tell it to stop.
Intelligent,
If
yeah.
the footsteps are happening, you can shout, "Can you please stop?" My brother once shouted, "Can you please, everything stop this?" And it just straight away.
Wow.
He said, "You're freaking me out. Please stop this."
See,
It just stopped straight away.
That freaked me out, knowing that
it knows what's
It
going
knows
on.
it,
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Has
yeah,
it
when
been vicious towards you, William? And has it been vicious? Has it been naughty
There's-
kind of thing? Throwing things
there's
at you really bad or anything?
yeah, there's two things. One of which is in the book about some knives being stuck in the floor, which I've put in this story that I'm not sure if this is paranormal or not. But you need to. I want you to read the story and make up your own mind on it.
Yeah.
The other one, not particularly vicious, but I suffer with sleep paralysis. So I've had sleep paralysis since I've lived in this house, basically, and I only get it when I've overworked or overtired, anything like that. And there's one
stress and
particular.
stuff.
That's when you can't move.
Yeah.
When
But I know when I'm in it. So I don't know if you guys have ever had it before. Basically, your mind wakes up before your body. I've learned to deal with it, and my way of dealing with it is just controlling my breathing. I can't open my eyes, I can't open my mouth, but I can breathe and control my breathing. But when I'm in it, I sort of breathe fast. So my wife knows I'm in it. She gives me a quick slap on the face, and I wake up. And I've told her to do it. She doesn't take advantage and belt me. Like I've told her, just give me a quick tap, and it'll wake me up. So one particular night, and this wasn't too long back, I went to sleep on the sofa with the dogs. Been out for a beer, went out to play darts on a Thursday night, play for a local darts team. And I got back, I didn't want to wake the missus and the little one up. So I got on the settee, curled up, both dogs were with me, and I was facing the sofa. And within minutes, I knew I was in sleep paralysis. So I was controlling my breathing at the time. And as I'm doing this, that door at the bottom of the stairs where I've seen the door handle go and the shadow going, there's all sorts of stuff happened there. I heard footsteps coming from that door, but they were heavier than my wife's. They were like heavy, heavy footsteps on a wooden floor. And it's a tiled floor, but these were heavy footsteps on a wooden floor. And they were coming towards me from behind me. And then they got faster and faster and faster as it got towards me. And then I felt like somebody had like their index finger out and prodded me as hard as they could, right on the shoulder blade. If you try and reach your arm around your back, there's a spot on your shoulder blade that you cannot reach with your own hand, right? Right in the middle there. I felt it. It made me jump up out of my sleep paralysis. The dogs went mad, and I sort of looked around the room and thought, there's nobody here, it's pitch black. And I put the light on, I went upstairs, took my shirt off, because it genuinely hurt a little bit. And I looked in the mirror, and I had a red mark on my shoulder blade. And I looked where it was, and I couldn't reach where this mark was to sort of feel it. It's right in the middle of my shoulder blade. Anyway, I went back downstairs and somehow got back to sleep. And the next morning I went into the missus and said, sorry, she asked me, I took my shirt off to go in the shower, and she looked at me and went, "What have you done to your back?" And I went, what do you mean?
Wow.
And I think I've just blanked it out. And she said,
Yeah, just
on
forgot
your
how
back,
much it like.
you've got a bruise, like a proper dark black bruise, circular bruise on your shoulder blade. I went and looked in the mirror, and there it was. So whether that is somebody trying to hurt me, or it's somebody trying to wake me up out of sleep. Is it somebody trying to wake me up? Is it somebody trying to wake me up out of sleep paralysis? I don't know.
I've had that. Well, that's sleep paralysis, whatever it is. Have you ever?
Yeah,
It feels as though somebody's coming in the room.
Yeah, you do.
You feel
It does, yeah. It can feel like that.
Beating
Yeah,
in your throat and everything, can't
you
it?
think, hey, somebody's in the room here with me.
Yeah, it's fine.
yeah, it's not nice. It's not nice. And that, to be fair, if you think about it, because that can happen in sleep paralysis, that could be debunked as it's sleep paralysis.
It's
You're feeling
sleep
like
paralysis.
the footsteps are happening behind you. You're thinking that. But then explain that bruise on my back, the red mark straight away. That's the bit that ties it in, and you think, what?
Yeah.
Or could it be like when you have this sleep paralysis, a spirit does come to you? Do you think
That could be what sleep paralysis is? We don't know, do we?
your soul leaving your body?
I know, yeah.
You're paralyzed. I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah. It's a weird one, isn't it?
It's
But
very
yeah,
strange.
the xylophone. Going back to the xylophone thing that literally happened 2 weeks ago. When I opened those wardrobe doors and it stopped, I heard literally in my ear there. I heard somebody cough in my ear, but like a really guttural, like right in my ear. And when I said I don't get scared about stuff, that scared me. I froze on the spot, and I didn't even want to turn my head to see what was next to me.
Yeah, just in case something was there.
Man.
And
So
I just shouted to my wife behind me and just said, Grace, just wake up a second. I need you. Did you hear that? Did you hear what's just happened?
So
yeah,
that
horrible.
room then, Will, where with the wardrobe in it, is that the one with the bay window where the old woman's been seen? So that's that room. That's interesting then. Yeah.
And the medium. So I had a medium round as well on a separate night, and I've written about this in the book. When he went in this room, and I've never heard of one of these before, but he said there was a vortex in the room.
Right, okay. Sort of like
room.
30 East Drive sort of thing. That's what's been said to be in 30 East Drive as well. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't know anything about vortex. Never known any. I've read about them since. It's basically a porthole into like a wormhole sort of thing for spirits to come in and out of. But yeah, that's what he thought. As soon as he got to that room, he walked upstairs. He said, "I've got to go in here. There's something very strange in here." And then went, "Whoa." Yeah, that's what it is.
That's probably why he did the man's voice, isn't it, as well, if it is a portal.
Because
coming in, wouldn't they?
Because obviously, I mean, you've got evidence there of two spirits, haven't you? A male and a female.
Yeah.
So,
well, I do know from looking at the history on the house. I can see a question there, any history on it. Yes, I've done some digging into the history. So a lady lived in the house. I've called her Mrs. Tompkins in the books. Obviously, I've had to change all the names in there. She lived in the house from March 25th, 1936. And she died roughly 6 months before. Sorry, I don't know if she died 6 months before I got the house, but she definitely died while she owned the house, and then the person bought it from her. So we don't know exact date when she passed away. But speaking to neighbours and stuff, they basically said, yeah, she owned the house up until she died, but she did have a partner, a male partner who died earlier on in his life. They think back in the 80s. Right. I can't track his name down. But when the medium came in, he was saying that, and the paranormal team both picked up on this, saying that there was a woman that's got a partner, not a husband, which was back then strange to have a partner, not a husband sort of thing.
Yeah, because they were all married back then, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, and they both picked up on the same thing, and both said that he's trying to find his partner. He's angry. He's trying to find his partner. She's not a nasty spirit at all. She just wants to be seen. It's her home. She loves her home. But he's quite a nasty one.
I wonder if it was them then, William.
Possibly, mate. Yeah, and that's the apart from that coin being chucked at me. That's the only time I've ever really had it. To me personally, I ever had anything sort of physical happen to me.
Have any of your neighbours ever seen the old lady in the window, the bay window? Well, have they ever?
No, and to be fair, the only ones that knew about it up until I started writing the book. The only one that knew about it was an old bloke that lived next door who passed away. He passed away back in 2010, I think it was. That's in the book. But yeah, he passed away. But his daughter and her fella live next door now. It's not the joined house to me. That's the next house down the road. But yeah, she lives there, his daughter and her fella. But I've spoke to her a bit about Mrs. Tompkins because she knew her as well because she lived there as a child. And said she was a lovely old lady. She worked as a furrier. She worked in dealing expensive fur coats, making expensive fur coats and selling them. And she was a lovely old lady by all accounts.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, if the lady just is in visitation, and obviously she's been seen on many times, and then the other paranormal activity you're getting, like the footsteps and the coin throwing and the rest of the stuff, could be the male presence.
Possibly, yeah. The foot. I know this sounds a crazy thing to say, but the footsteps sound like a heavy-set male figure.
Yeah, that's why.
The really, really heavy-set footsteps.
Yeah.
And we've heard them, like I say, loads of times, walking up the stairs, walking downstairs when you're upstairs, walking upstairs when you're downstairs. And like I say, every time you just cannot be in the same place as the footsteps. It's crazy.
It's mad, isn't it?
Brilliant. What else have I got to ask?
Yeah, it's got to be very interesting.
Yeah,
Do you never believed in ghosts or spirits or anything before all this then?
No, not before I bought the house.
Right.
But now,
if somebody come up to you and said, like before you bought this house, and they come up to you and say, "Tell you what, my house is haunted," how would you approach them? Would you say, "Don't be silly," or would you?
I wouldn't belittle anyone about it. I'd just kind of say, each their own.
Well,
each to their own. But I'm not at the time. It's never happened to me at the time. Nothing had ever happened to me paranormal. At 19 years of age, nothing had ever happened. So I wouldn't belittle anyone. I'd just kind of say, well, that's each their own. But it's not my belief system. But now my belief system is that there's something there. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think it all boils down. We've said this before, haven't we, mate? It all boils down to experiences, your personal experiences. I think, a skeptic is always going to be a skeptic unless they experience something for themselves. Yeah. So, obviously, we've started doing this, going out to abandoned, derelict places, and we've also been to the paid, the good old paid locations of 30 East Drive and prisons and stuff like that. And we've found in like these most popular haunted hotspots, we've actually got nothing.
Nothing.
But that doesn't mean to say that we're not saying it's haunted. It's
no,
just
exactly.
The fact that we've had a quiet night.
Yeah. It's like you said, yours comes in waves, don't it? Like,
it doesn't happen all the time. To be fair, I was lucky when the paranormal team came here. It did all kick off that night.
Yeah.
Bet you were like, please.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of thinking, if they turn up and nothing happens, I'm just going to look daft. I'm going to look daft here.
But for me, that makes it more legit. If nothing happens, that makes it more believable.
Well, that night, to be fair, it did stop at about, I think it's about 12, 1 o'clock when they started packing the stuff up because it had gone quiet and nothing was happening. And I went upstairs to bed. I listened back to me bits on the laptop because they left. I started listening and I thought, oh my God, I've caught this. And then I was in the house on my own for the first time in a long time, to be fair, because I'm married now. So my wife had gone out. My dogs had been shipped off to my dad's house. So I was in the house for the first time in a long, long time. And I went upstairs to bed. And as I got into bed, I was just about to turn the light off at the side of the bed. I started doing the footsteps on the landing outside the door. And I just straight away banged the telly on, turn the light up, turn the main light on in bedroom. I thought, I'll go to sleep with light on tonight.
Just ignore it. Just lay it back on.
Ignore it. I'm just drown it out. Because it genuinely it can be quite scary. I'm not.
It's disturbing, isn't it? You know what I mean?
There's a lot of bravado in saying, there's a lot of bravado in saying it's not scary, but it is. I don't know what it is, so it's unnerving.
It's not natural, is it? You'd be lying in bed and footsteps getting past across your landing.
It's paranormal.
Yeah. You think, I'd be expecting the door go wide open, somebody standing there like it's like.
And it's like that. We always get asked, Will, on numerous occasions, what would your reaction be if you saw a full apparition? It's like we don't even know. Nobody knows, do we?
I've seen the reactions of people that have seen the lady in my house, and trust me, it's not nice seeing their reaction. How they were was just
Traumatizing.
completely traumatized, out of character. Especially my brother and Greg were the two that really got me. Just the
your brain. I don't think your brain had register. What's that?
What's
even
going
though
on?
you're looking for something like that, and it's actually you turn around, it's standing there.
Yeah.
I don't think your brain had
register
straight away. It's like it's freeze, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because whenever you experience something, you, like yourself, Will, you're a logical guy, like we both are. We always try and debunk things, but if something happens which is so strange that it's very unnatural, it's like your brain is saying it's natural, but then you know that ain't natural.
Yeah, this
you know what I mean?
shouldn't be
It's
happening.
just your natural instinct it just doesn't register. It's
fight or flight.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's crazy. So what prompted you to write your book then, William? I already know this, but this is for the audience.
Yeah, that's cool. So my mum got diagnosed with a rare form of breast cancer about 5 years ago. And about going back about 3 years ago now, I was doing loads of sponsored dog walks for the first 2 years to raise money for cancer research. And I'd raised about $3,000 in the first 2 years. And then went out, had a drink in York with my missus and another couple.
I was up there last week or the week before.
Love York.
Yeah.
Great
Beautiful
place.
mate.
There's some good haunted buildings for you to test there as well. I've been looking at you. You've been some cracking places, by the way. But I'd slipped on some ice and I jarred my knee and I ended up having to have surgery on it. So I was gutted basically because my way of coping with my mum not being well was doing these sponsored dog walks and also raising money. I felt like I was doing something to help out. And I was sat in the front room one day, feet up, watching the football one Saturday afternoon, and two of the lads came around. One of them's an electrician. He was working on some lights on the outside of the house for me, and he used to live in the house. I've called him Doug in the book. Very good old friend of mine. I've known him since I was 5-6 years old. He's had quite a bit of stuff happen to him in this house. So when he comes round now, he always asks me questions like, what's happened? Have you had anything freaky happen in the last couple of weeks? Has anything weird happened and stuff? And the other lad who was here is a guy called Ian in the book. So Ian sat on the sofa, we're just having a beer, watching the football, and Doug walks in from doing these electrics and he says, anything strange happened then? And I said, yeah, actually, something weird happened last week. And this was about the coins. So as I'm explaining this story, this was, like I say, my mum had been, she'd had cancer for 2 years at this stage. I'm laid up, legs in a brace, can't do a great deal. And I said, so it was Friday night last week. I'd gone to go to bed. My wife had just gone to bed just before me. I was turned everything off downstairs. I walked into the bedroom and I looked down and I saw a weird coin in the middle of the floor, bang in the center of the floor. And I bent down, picked it up, and it was an American 1-cent piece. And I looked at it and just thought, how weird's that? I mean, everything's cashless now, so I don't have a lot of money hanging about anyway.
Yeah.
I thought, why is it an American 1-cent piece? I've been to America before, but it was probably 6 years ago. So I put it on my bed. Sorry, I looked at it and it said 2014 on it. I don't know why I looked at the date, but I looked at the date on it, 2014. I put it on my bedside table and I didn't say anything about it. I sort of tapped my wife and just said, any idea where this has come from? And she said, no clue. Anyway, put it to the back of my mind. Saturday night, so that was Friday. Saturday night, she goes to bed before me about half an hour. So when I got up to the bedroom, she was fast asleep. I looks down on the floor in the same spot on the floor, bends down, American 1-cent piece, 2014. I looked in my drawer at the side of the bed. The coin's gone. There's no other coins in there. The coin's gone. So I'm thinking this is the same coin. It's got the same date on it. How has it got there? So I woke my wife up and said, have you put this here to wind me up? Like, you're the only person who knew it was there. You must have put it there. And she went, why would I do that? Put it back in your bedside table and forget about it. So I put it back in my bedside table. On the Sunday night, so this is 3 nights on the bounce, I've hoovered up that day. So I know there was nothing on the floor. And I'm walking up the stairs to go to bed. My wife's gone to bed probably an hour before me on the Sunday night. I was watching something on the TV. Walking up the stairs, looks down, sees a coin in the middle of the stairs, American 1-cent piece. Picked it up, 2014. Deja vu again. Walks into the bedroom, says to the wife, woke her up and said, you've got to be winding me up. This is 3 nights on the bounce now. I said, you've got to be winding me up. And she went, right, give it here. And you don't know wake your wife up 3 nights on the bounce. She just said, give it here. And she took it off me and she put it on her side of the bed, on her bedside table. I watched her do it. And the next morning, I Googled that night, why am I finding American 1-cent pieces in the house? And the general consensus was people of a spiritual nature, shall we say, saying that you've got a visitor coming from the States. I Googled, why am I finding American coins in my house in the UK? And it said, you've got a visitor coming from the States. Now, the weird thing was that my mate and his American girlfriend, he lives in Santa Monica now, out in LA, were coming over the following week. So that was a bit weird, because I was kind of putting 2 and 2 together and going, that's a bit weird. Anyway, so it gets weirder. The next morning I woke up and I went to go in the shower. So I've gone around, walked around the bed, grabbed my towel, gets in. It's a bath shower. So I've stepped into the bath. I'm having a shower. And I was thinking about the coin. You would be 3 nights on the bounce finding this coin. First thing in the morning, I'm just thinking, where did it keep coming from, this coin?
Yeah.
As I'm thinking it, I hear a slap, and I heard the slap. It hit me that hard on the back of the calf.
Wow.
And I heard the noise as it hit the bath, and I thought, that's a coin. Before I even looked down, I thought, that's that coin. And I looked down in the bath, 2014 American 1-cent coin.
Wow.
Now, a lot of people at that stage would be quite scared, but I picked it up, grabbed my towel around me, and ran into the bedroom and went, you're not going to believe this. I've just had a coin thrown at me while I'm in shower. I was like excited about it. Because loads of stuff's happened to other people like that, but not me. So I'm kind of excited about it. I told my wife and she said, that's amazing. Like, I hope it doesn't happen to me. And I put it on my bedside table again on top of it. It's a mirrored bedside table. It had a couple of droplets of water around it, but I took a photo and I said, leave it there. I want to document if it moves. And she went off to work. I had a couple of Zoom calls to do in the morning for work. And it got to about 10:30. I was making a cup of tea downstairs and I phoned my dad to tell him, because he's massively into the paranormal side of things. So I phoned him up to have a chat. And he says, well, where is it now? I said, it's upstairs on bedside table. He went, well, go and see if it's still there then. So I went upstairs, looked on bedside table, and I picked it up, just nonchalantly picked it up off side while I was on phone with him. I got phone to ear, coin in hand. And as I put it into the palm of my hand, there were 2 coins.
Whoa.
There was a 2012 and a 2014. There definitely were not 2 coins on that side when I left it on there and took the photo, and I've got the photo on my phone. There weren't 2 coins, but there were 2 coins on top of each other. And in so there.
Strange.
Anyway, if you go back to me, I'm telling this story to Doug and Ian in the front room the following weekend when he's around doing some electrics. And he's going white while I'm telling him this story. And I said, what's up? And he went, you're not going to believe it. He said, when were I around at your house doing first fix on electrics on front? And I said, last Sunday, I think it was. It was the day before the coin got thrown at me in the shower. And he went even paler. And he says, well, that night, I went home and I passed me work trousers. He had like Snickers work trousers, no got pockets outside.
Yeah.
And he says, I don't carry any money or anything on me. But I often leave some tools in my pockets, though. So my wife always checks my pockets before she puts them in the washing machine. And she checked my pockets and she found an American 1-cent piece in my pocket.
That's mad.
And he just freaked out, to be fair, and said, I'm worried that something's followed me home from yours, because he's had stuff happen to him here before. But as that all happened, when you asked me about why to write the book, Ian then piped up and said, you should write about these stories, because I'd pay money and I'd read it. So I had a bit of a light bulb moment and thought, right, I'll do it, and I'll do it all to raise money for a cancer charity in my mum's name. But since then, we lost my mum back in May, so she didn't get to see the final draft and stuff, bless her. But she picked the charity. I've done it for Cavendish Cancer Care, a local cancer charity that helped her through like the mental battle of a diagnosis and treatment and stuff. But it's raised just over $8,500 in a month.
That's fantastic.
So
I think it's absolutely incredible what you've done, William.
It is,
and
honestly,
very sorry about your mum as well, mate. Sending love about you.
Very much, I appreciate it.
And this is another thing for me where it rings that the story is legit and more believable, because the fact that you're not profiting from this. You know,
I don't get up from it.
And I'm not for a good cause, you know.
Yeah, and I nearly said to you, I didn't want to do a video on this, to be fair.
Right.
Because I don't want my face behind it. I don't want my name. The name on the front of the book is a pseudonym. It's a writer's name. That's not my name. I didn't want to be famous from it or anything like that. Nobody knows where the house is apart from my family and friends. All the names have changed, the address is changed in the book, and it's all to raise money for Cavendish Cancer Care. But all the stories are true to my heart. They are true stories of exactly what's happened. They're not over dramatized. They're not exaggerated. It's just this happened. This is how people felt. That's what it's about.
Oh, honest mate,
It's basically it's not just a book like a story. It's a documentation of paranormal activity,
and it's all in chronological order for the last 18 years. Because I finished it last May. It's 18 years worth of chronological stories of what's happened in the house.
Absolutely brilliant, honestly.
It's great.
But yeah,
and it just goes to show, that the activity, like say, 19 years in a property, it's not a lot that you've had really, but it is at the same time. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not a lot, but it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's some of the stuff's big. If I look into what happens in paranormal cases and stuff, some of the stuff that's happened here is quite bloody big, but it's not happening all the time.
It just proves, don't it, that
that it doesn't happen all the time.
No matter where you go, you aren't going to get paranormal activity all the time.
No,
possible.
Definitely not. But I think it's absolutely fantastic what you've done, William.
Honestly,
thank you. Appreciate it,
guys. If you'd like to purchase the book, I'll just put this banner on. Actually, I haven't put the banner on, have I? Golden banner there. I've got the link in the description. It is a #1 seller. I've just noticed as well now, Will, on Amazon.
Yeah, it's
number one bestseller.
Six categories it was in 6 categories. Yeah, it's done very well.
Great stuff. And guys, it's all going to a good cause. It's going
get
to
buying, guys.
Yeah,
we'll get buying.
Let's support, and I'm going to buy the audiobook. I can't wait for the audiobook to come.
I'm on it, mate.
Any news on that, Will? Do you think it's going to be before Christmas or?
I'm hoping so. I had like I said, I've got a bit of man flu at the minute and trying to do an audiobook, and you have to kind of act. You have to kind of act on an audiobook, and I've never done that before, so it's all new to me. But I'm because I've got quite, as you've heard, I've got quite a dulcet monotone, and I'm trying to bring it to life a little bit because I'm doing it myself. It's quite hard to do. But I've done the first 4 chapters. I've got a way to go yet, but I'm hoping to get it done for Christmas. So just keep an eye. There is a Facebook page if you want to follow the Lady in the Bay Window by William Seagrave. You can follow that, and I'll keep you updated with it. And there is also a launch event for the book next week, and there's some tickets left. It's only a £5 a ticket, and I've booked a fantastic singer, and it's in the oldest registered library in Sheffield, which is now quite a funky events bar. So if anyone wants to come to that, they're more than welcome. I think there's about 30, 40 tickets left.
Right.
It's all for charity. It's on the 8th. It's on Friday the 8th. You guys are more than welcome to come if you want. I'll give you a shout out while you're there.
Okay.
But it'd be cracking that. The singer's really good. So I booked him for my wedding. He's a good mate of mine.
Working that night, mate.
Yeah.
Got it.
But yeah, people are more than welcome to book on. You can Google that, or you can find it on my Facebook page and book onto that. It'd be a cracking night.
Yep. So has anyone got any questions at all? I'm just going to flick through in case we've missed any. Chat's been going crazy.
Thank you for buying the book, by the way. I can see somebody's bought that. It's in the cart already. Thank you.
Yeah. Great stuff. Thank you,
much
guys.
appreciated.
Yeah, keep buying, guys. I'm definitely going to buy it to you. Definitely.
Yes, definitely.
When you buy it to the men.
I'm going to buy it for my lady for Christmas as well. I hope she can't see me while she's upstairs.
I might give you guys a shout next time the madness starts for the first. We get an instance. I might get you round, and you can come and interview me while the stuff's going on. Bring your kit round.
Oh,
that'd be great. We'd really enjoy that.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm cool with that.
God, man, I'd probably be flat.
You'd be a nervous wreck. His stomach would be going.
My
and
stomach
everything.
would be going now.
I'm just going through now,
watching
guys.
your stuff. It's good stuff. So yeah, more than happy.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
I don't know if you know the team at Awakening the Paranormal, the guys who did the investigation in the house.
Oh,
they were
right. Great stuff. I've heard of. Yeah, I've heard of Awakening Paranormal. Yeah,
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I think I don't think they're on YouTube. Are they on Facebook? Awakening Paranormal.
The Facebook, more Facebook. They do a bit of TikTok stuff as well. I think.
Do they?
Yeah,
right.
But yeah, they're good set.
Great. Just looking at questions.
classified.
I know I'm terrible. I am. Show me age
Like
now.
Mr. McGee, man. Like,
I can't see any of these, so you'll have to ask of me.
yeah, man. I tell you what, William, the experiences you've had.
Pocket Watch said, I would do the audiobook as I struggle to read. Yes,
Yeah.
Pocket Watch. So the audiobook, Will is actually working on it at the moment. He's hoping to get it done before Christmas, aren't you, mate?
I am.
But it
I am.
is coming. It is coming.
It's coming. It certainly is. And I'm not a massive reader myself either. I'm definitely not a writer. I've never written before, but hopefully you enjoy it. Like I say, it's done well so far.
Great stuff. Jay McHugh says, does William take note of the dates of when the activity happens? You do, don't you, Will?
I certainly do. Especially since I started writing the book, I've got exact dates and times written down of stuff that's happened. And I've already got probably about another 7 chapters worth of noteworthy, worth writing about stuff if I wanted to write a sequel to the book. But there's no rushing it. I can't tell you when I would have enough for a book. It could be another 18 years.
Exactly.
Did you? Sorry, Will. Did you? Did you say,
It froze.
I know. Did you say, Will, that you've actually recorded anything? You know, when you?
Yeah, I've got. Yeah, we've got recording. I've actually got. If you go on the Facebook page, the first time I ever tried to communicate with the whatever's in the house, there's a video on there, me basically asking out and saying, is there anybody in the house bar us? Me and my wife sat there, and I plucked up the courage and just said, is anybody in the house bar us? Any spirits, anything in here? If there is, can you knock twice for us now? And you hear the 2 largest, deepest thuds in the ceiling bang above us.
That's on Facebook, isn't it? Well,
it is, yeah. And I cut the video.
video.
There was nobody else in the house, and I cut the video off short because my wife was screaming, "We need to get out of this house now. We need to get out of this house now." She did not want to be there when I asked that, so she wouldn't let me ask anything else at the time. So yeah, I'll just stop recording.
So Mad Matt UK is saying, is there a link to purchase the tickets, or can I just turn up on the door?
There's a link. There is a link to purchase them. If you Google the lady in the bay window, I think it's about the 3rd thing that comes up. Or if you go on eventbrite.com, you'll find the lady in the bay window launch event on there. Or you can find it on Facebook. If you go onto my Facebook page, it's on there. You can message me on there as well. If you find the lady in the bay window by William Seagrave, you can message me if you're struggling. I'll send you the link through. It's not a problem.
I think that is the best place for the information about the book, and it will the Facebook page.
100%,
there's a lot of information on there.
Yeah.
So if you just go on Facebook, guys, and in the search bar just type in the lady in the bay window, it actually comes up. The page comes straight up. Yeah, it comes straight up. Just click the like button, enable the notifications, guys, and you'll be updated on anything new from you, Will. I'm guessing
everything
on the page.
new on there, and if you've got any questions, genuinely reach out. I will answer. I've answered every single question that's come through to me. It's been a bit of a mad month.
I bet you've been busy.
It's been a busy boy, yeah, but it's I'm more than happy to answer because the support that's been shown for it's just overwhelming. So more than happy to answer any questions.
Brilliant. And the reviews are really good as well, aren't they? Well, I was going through the reviews earlier. And there's been so many people who've said they've picked the book up and not put it down. They've
put it down, yeah. Just mad.
Stoney, do the dogs always pick up on the spirits?
Not always. However, there is a couple of times where the door, I mean, literally a couple of weeks ago when we had that xylophone thing, that was the start of a bit of a mad week.
But the heads were like that, really.
Yeah, and the last thing that happened at the end of that week was the door at the bottom of the stairs was like somebody was banging on the back of it, and it got stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger until I heard the door latch starting to creak, and I was laid on the sofa with me 6-month-old baby on my chest. Both dogs were there. The dogs went absolutely mad at the door. And I just thought it was my wife coming downstairs at first. I thought she was messing about at the bottom of the stairs, doing something or cleaning or something. Like, you're just leaning against the door and banging against it.
Yeah.
While she was doing something. And it wasn't. I got up, went to the door. The dogs were going mad, trying to scratch at the door and sniff underneath it, which they wouldn't do if it was my wife. And I went to open the door, looked upstairs, nobody there. It's pitch black. It was only like 9 o'clock at night, but I walked upstairs into the bedroom. My wife was fast asleep. And she was the only other person in the house. So Yes, they do sometimes, not always. They don't always pick up on stuff that's going on.
Right.
That's strange.
So I've just had a message from someone on Instagram. I believe it's Jay McHugh with 8 questions from different people in the chat. So thank you so much for that, Jay McHugh. She's on the game. She's on it. So this question was from Moog37. How old is the house? I think you've already.
Yeah, it's
cleared
nice.
that,
It's March the 25th, 1936. The house was moved into. I don't know if it was built maybe slightly before that, obviously, but yeah, it was definitely built prior to that day. But
didn't it used to be a council house as well, Will?
yeah, it was built as a council house. So these houses all the way down the street were built as council houses, but they're quite big, like tall ceilings. They're quite big houses for what they were, council houses.
Great stuff. This one is from Skeptic Paranormal Journeys. Has William had a team in to investigate yet?
Certainly
had
have.
a team in to investigate.
Yeah, that's in the book as well.
From
the full chapter about that.
Another one from Joan McHugh. Are you living in this house at the moment? He is. He's there right now.
I am.
I'm looking behind you all the time.
I know. I'm looking at them little shelves there.
On my shoulder. Yeah, if somebody flies up on them shelves in a minute, I'm blaming you guys.
Again from Joan. Is your house open to the public or private visit investigations?
Unfortunately not, because my wife really creeped out by it, and we've got a 6-month-old little one. I've tried to keep some anonymity about the house because of it is my home. I've been in 19 years. I don't want it to turn into a circus.
No.
I don't mind, like I've said to you guys, I wouldn't mind you guys coming around one day, but I wouldn't want you filming from outside the house, because as soon as you know which house it is, I'll just get...
Yeah, God.
Yeah,
people
will be queuing up, won't they, get in? Yeah. We'd never film from the outside. You've got to keep it private. You know, it's your home. You've got your family there, your children, and, you know, it's just all about respect.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we've got another one from Elaine. Why do you think you haven't seen the old lady, and have your experience changed you?
Have they changed me? Kind of, yeah, because I was a fully fledged skeptic. So yeah, I believe there's something going on. Will I sit here now and say that it's a ghost or a spirit? I don't know. It could be something scientific that we haven't worked out yet that's going on. I genuinely don't know what it is. It's paranormal. That's what paranormal is, isn't it, I suppose?
Exactly. Not normal.
Yeah, it's not normal. I don't know what it is. Definitely not normal.
Yeah.
Definitely not normal. What was the other bit to that question? Sorry. So has it changed?
Why do you think you haven't seen the old lady?
I genuinely don't know. I've been there on 3 occasions. Of the 5 where she's been seen, I've been there on 3 of the occasions looking in the same direction and being told that the lady's there, and I haven't seen her. So I don't know.
See, I'm a true believer in that only certain people can see him.
Can see live.
Possibly.
And I do think that could be a thing.
Genuinely no idea. But I've been there 3 times when different people have seen the old lady in the house.
Isn't it?
I've not seen
thought all of you have seen it at the same time. You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
How it happens. That's paranormal though, again, isn't it? It's very strange, isn't it?
Very, very strange. So we've on Cars, have you got children? We've gone through that one.
Certainly have.
Is there an increase in activity when you renovated? There was, yes.
There was definitely, yeah. And we went through 3 years of renovating the house, by the way, as well.
3 years.
3 years renovating it. We renovated it all and then decided to rip the kitchen out and put an extension on, like idiots. So we went for another year of pain.
Work.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
You know, Will,
that's it.
If this old lady moved on, would you feel unhappy? Would you feel sad?
No, I genuinely. When the medium came round,
what I'm saying is, are you getting attached to her? Like, can you understand? What
no, I genuinely.
Oh, would that be?
What I said to the medium when he came round, because he said he can cleanse the house for me, and I just said, look, I'm not. I understand what house cleansing is. If they want to move on, if the spirits want to move on, and if you're speaking to them, they want to move on, move them on. I'm cool with that. But if they want to stay as well, I don't want you moving somebody on who don't want to move. Because from what I've heard, is Mrs. Tompkins loved this house. I love this house. great house, lovely character to it and stuff. I loved the house. She loved the house. So
Yeah.
if somebody came along and moved me on, and I didn't want to move on,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I
I
like
wonder
it.
if she doesn't want to show herself in case you're really scared and then you move because she's got attached to you. You never know, do you?
No.
Maybe you don't know, do you? You never know.
Yeah.
Might be mad me saying that, like, but
No, you don't know. It's like that. I mean, would you say that, you know, it's causing you a disturbance, the paranormal activity in the house? It's not to the point where you don't want to live there,
No,
is it?
no,
You know,
no.
so
There's been things, like I say, there have been that cough in my ear the other week was literally 2
made
weeks
you
ago. That just freaked me out. But it didn't make
Yeah.
me freak out to the stage where I'm like, I don't want to be here. It just that shouldn't have happened, and I don't like that. Don't do
Yeah.
that again to me. Whatever it is around me, don't do that
Yeah.
again to me. I did not like that. It really creeped me out. But it's like somebody
Yeah.
shouting "boo" in your face. A person shouting "boo" in your face when you're expecting it, it sort of shocks you. A jump scare.
Are you psyching yourself up for your son and that come up to say, Dad, I've just seen an old lady on top of the stairs. Who's that?
Mate,
My God.
genuinely, I am
Honestly,
slightly concerned
seriously, I
about
think that'll happen.
everybody's been asking me about this, and I'm kind of.
Yeah.
He's just literally started crawling over the last couple of days, and he's a right happy little child as well. He's
Is he? Oh.
very rarely cries. He only cries when he's hungry, bless him, which I think we all do.
I
So
still do now.
I'm the same, mate. Yeah, you get hungry.
My stomach does anyway.
it
God.
does.
So yeah, I am
Blinders.
slightly concerned about that.
Yeah.
Anything loft or cellar?
Yeah.
Have you got a cellar?
I've not got a cellar.
No.
I have got a loft, and there's a story about that in the book, and I will genuinely leave you to have a read at that because that is
yeah,
weird.
definitely.
Yeah, we've got to
That's
leave.
weird.
We've got to
Yeah,
leave
you've got to
things for
leave
the
some-
book.
Yeah.
You need to buy the book and read that chapter because that's a bit weird.
Definitely.
Great
It
stuff.
involves the character I told you about earlier, Doug, the one who used to live here.
Right. Great. Yeah, we don't want to spoil the book, guys. We don't want to. We don't want William to answer every single question.
Nobody buys it.
And then
you're
nobody
right, I'm
buys it.
more than happy
Oh, I
to
didn't
do
need to read that
Yeah,
book.
yeah,
Just,
it's all right.
we just watched the interview with
What
Will
do
with
you
Ghost on Trent.
What do you want the audio for? Just put this on.
Yeah.
I think it's mad that I've just seen somebody's bought the book from USA. I can't believe how far the book's travelled around the world
Yeah,
already.
man.
Oh, it's
Mad.
incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mad.
The internet's such a powerful thing.
Yeah.
It is. What's William's most frightening episode?
Do you want me to tell you that?
No. Stoney, I think you should get the book and find out.
Yeah.
It's in there. It is in there,
Is it?
and it really, really creeped me out.
Right. Yeah. well,
Don't tell us that.
I think we should wait for that.
Yeah, wait for that.
I think we
Okay.
should wait for that, guys.
Okay.
I think it's just spoiling too much.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, we do.
if you know we give too much away. Joan,
book.
would William be willing to be interviewed, participate in a Ghost on Trent video in the future? Well, yeah, you've just said that, haven't you, Will?
Yeah.
More
You know,
than happy, yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys
It'd
seem
be
spot
great.
on.
That'd
I'm
be
more
really
than
good.
happy to
I'll
do
bring you
that.
some oatcakes up as well, Will.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Trent oatcakes. Have you ever had them?
Definitely, yeah, I have. So you could definitely come if
That'd
you're
be-
doing that. That's fine.
Brilliant. Yeah, we'd love to, definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's about it. Like I say, we don't want to give too much away
No,
about
no.
the book, guys.
We can get by the book in a
But
minute.
please, yeah.
Definitely.
I'm gonna
Can't wait for that.
get
now.
a copy for my lady, and then
Yeah.
I'll get the audio book as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
You'll have to let me know how she
You
gets
are-
on with it.
So
Let me know what she
interesting.
Yeah, I
honestly,
will
I could
do.
speak to you all night, man.
I know.
So interesting.
it's
I've got
great.
So
isn't
many
it?
questions to ask him as well.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, if you come off this and you've got any more questions, just fire them across to me on Facebook, and I'm more than happy to answer anything, mate. It's fine.
Yeah, man.
Great stuff. Brilliant.
It'd be even better when we go meet you face to face.
Yeah, sit down and chat
Yeah.
and
That'll be it.
experience
It's
it
been good.
for yourselves, hopefully. Yeah,
I
I've
hope
properly
something
enjoyed it, so thank you for having me as well. It's been good.
no
mate,
problem.
honestly.
We appreciate your time, Will,
Yeah,
because I know you're a
100%.
busy guy, mate, and everyone's probably hounding you at the moment for interviews and podcasts. And
Yeah.
No
Cool.
wonder he isn't on this morning, is he?
I know, yeah.
Well,
there's time yet.
Time, yeah, for that.
Yeah.
There might be, yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
But really appreciate your time, Will.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat, please share this video
Yeah,
and
please.
please show your support to Will and his cause. All proceedings are going to charity, so you know,
Please buy it if you
please
can. guys.
support Will
Honestly.
and his book,
Honest. Please.
and hopefully we'll get to work with him next year, maybe.
Sounds
And
good to me.
we can put a video out and
Yeah.
update people on what's going on in the home. And yeah,
Definitely. That's
great
been
stuff.
really nice meeting you, mate. Honestly.
Yeah, it's been
Definitely. No,
great.
it's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
we'll leave it at that, eh?
We can leave it at that.
Yeah, I think so.
And thanks for all joining us as well.
Yes, thank you all for joining in. Sorry if we've missed anyone's questions.
it's a nightmare,
It's
let's
just
be
been a
honest.
bit hectic tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, 156 so far.
Wow.
I think there was just over 180 earlier.
Yeah,
So that's not bad for a Friday night, is it?
Not bad at all.
Everyone's
Not
out drinking and Christmas shopping and.
Brilliant.
But yeah, thank you so much, Will. Really
Yeah.
appreciate your time,
Honestly.
and we'll speak to you soon.
Brilliant work
Wicked.
you're doing, mate. You keep it up.
Excellent. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
brilliant.
guys. Appreciate it.
And I look forward to the
Yeah.
audiobook.
And I'm
Can't
looking forward to meeting you, mate. Really.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
You take
Okay,
it easy.
well-
Have a lovely weekend.
See you, Will.
Cheers.
You
You
have a
too,
good
mate.
weekend, mate. Nice.
Take
Thanks,
care.
guys. See you in a bit. Bye.
Oh, Will, before you
Oh,
go,
go on.
who'd you support? Who'd you support? What football team you support?
Sheffield United fan, of course.
Oh, Sheffield United. I thought you could have been Wednesday. Oh, I dare say that then.
Oh,
I thought you
Who
would
are
have been a
they?
Wednesday fan.
who are they?
Who are they?
Yeah, I'm a Stoke. Oh,
Oh, yeah, Stoke. Yeah.
Stoke.
Fair play.
Nightmare. All right then.
See you later,
Fair
Will.
play.
Take care, mate.
Draw,
Bye,
mate.
guys.
Draw, mate.
Bye.
Draw.
Bye bye. Wow, that was great, guys.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed having Will on.
Yeah.
It's something a little bit different as well, something we've never done
I
before.
tell you what,
I hope you guys have
some of the
enjoyed
things
it.
he's been saying.
But it's great to hear,
True, I don't know.
you know, a true paranormal story from a guy who lives in a haunted house. You know, because, like I said earlier, there's been so many stories of hauntings, famous stories in the UK. You know, the Battersea poltergeist, the Enfield poltergeist,
30s Drive.
30s Drive.
What's the name of it one? The American one. What's that one called?
Oh, the American,
I can't
the
think.
Conjuring House, and all this. Yeah. So, but all of those stories that we hear about now, the hauntings are no longer ongoing. Only 30s Drive, you could say, the hauntings are still ongoing.
Strange when we were asleep on that.
Yeah, we had
them
them
noises.
noises. Yeah,
What were them?
but nothing really happens on command, does it?
Nothing.
Strange.
Strange.
So it is interesting to hear someone talk about his haunted home, and he's actually put a book out for everyone to read for themselves. And he makes a point as well, Mark. He's not saying this is my haunted house and I want you to believe it.
Yeah,
He's just saying
making you think.
this is what's happened in my home.
Yeah,
Whether you believe it or not is entirely up
I
to you.
100%
You know,
believe it. I really do,
and-
because it's
it seems very, very genuine. Very,
genuine,
very genuine. And we can't wait. Hopefully, guys, next year we can meet up with Will.
yeah, can't wait for that. Nothing
do a
happened
little
to us,
interview.
mark my words, nothing.
Well, you
Well,
never know.
anyways,
You never know. But yeah, it'd be great. I think that's something that you guys would love to see as well. So we'll try his best to make it happen for you.
Yeah,
But we want to thank you all for coming in.
yeah, and thanks for trying and share the book, Tracy. Did
Yes, Tracy, thank you so much.
Thanks for
And
that.
Joan, thanks a
Joan.
lot for catching up for the questions that we missed and sending it me in
Yeah,
a
thanks a
message.
lot,
Really
Joan.
appreciate it.
Just thanks for everybody.
Every
It's,
single one of you.
We really do appreciate it. You know what I mean?
We do.
And
And guys, this weekend, Sunday, there will not be a video. I haven't had time. So we've got, I've spent time setting up this live. It's been a nightmare. But we got there in the end. So hopefully next weekend, next Sunday, we'll be back with a new video, hopefully.
definitely.
But yeah, it is that time of year now where everyone's busy.
Freezing as well,
And
isn't
it's freezing cold. It's very difficult to get out now in this weather.
Plus it's good snow out, aren't it? For this
Yeah,
weekend?
it's give snow. But yeah, it's just that busy time of year, guys. So we will try his best to bring content for you. Members content, we'll start that next year.
Yeah,
We're hoping
brand
to
new
bring
stuff.
out more for the members because we have been slacking on that just lately.
It's just
It's
one
just-
of them.
it's
and
very-
just a
it's
nightmare.
very hard.
Working nights, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because obviously he's doing all the editing and that. I'm trying to learn a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a 70s guy, so you know what I mean.
This
But
is
he's
it.
working nights, 12-hour nights, and he's coming home. He isn't having no sleep. He's doing all the editing.
Editing and
you
stuff.
can understand, can't you? You know what I mean, guys?
It can be very tiring, guys, and it's
Plus,
but we
we've
love
got a
it.
new little
We love
baby
it.
coming on the way, so
Yeah.
what we can do, we can get loads
Try
of
get in
videos,
front, aren't we?
get in front,
Yeah.
and do that.
So that we don't miss any weeks.
So just be patient with us, guys.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate everything
We do.
watching us and everything.
We do really appreciate every single one of you.
And we will find some paranormal evidence.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I'm hoping for that day we find the Holy Grail, mate. Hopefully one day.
And for these as well.
For these guys, yeah.
But when he was talking to them there, it really made me believe him proper. You know what I mean? I'm thinking,
yeah,
because he looks so genuine, doesn't he?
Genuine, yeah. The thing is, he's not profiting from the book,
This is what I'm
so
saying.
it makes it all
And he
all
isn't,
the
he
more.
isn't promoting it like
No,
a
he's not.
Batman.
No.
Is he? Calm
Well,
down, you know.
He hasn't even used his real name for the book, guys. You
And
know,
I
he doesn't
think,
want that promotion.
And I think, you know, if he was not genuine,
He'd be doing it for the attention.
He'd be
you
doing
know.
the attention, I think the television and everything.
Yeah,
there.
definitely.
He'd have everybody there.
Yeah,
wouldn't he?
yeah.
Plus, he'd be charging people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Definitely.
But it's a very, very intriguing
He's a
story.
nice guy.
Lovely
He's a
guy.
Genuine guy.
Lovely, genuine guy, yeah. Kaz, thank you so much for the super sticker. Really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thanks, guys. That's really nice of you, Ducky. There's loads in that. I can't see. I need to get me.
I know, I'm getting terrible now with my eyes. I think it's this editing all the time, and it's on computers all the time.
Pocket watch. Great.
Great that you got an invitation to investigate that
Yeah,
house.
yeah,
Yeah, it's great, Pocket.
Yeah.
We, like I say, we wouldn't turn down an investigation there at all. Definitely not.
Been 1 in a million, that is.
Yeah.
A chance that is.
Yeah, that'd be great. But yeah, thank you all for joining in, guys. Really
yeah.
appreciate it. Like I say, sorry we haven't really paid attention to the chat. Obviously, we've had William on, so we've been chatting. But yeah, appreciate every single one of you.
We do,
Thank you all for watching.
Yeah.
And we'll see you all
100%.
soon.
All
Good
the best,
night, all.
guys. See you
Take care.
later. Bye now.